Good day, welcome to my channel. This is Song Meanings, according to fans. Today's topic is Drops of Jupiter by Train.
A permanent scar, and then you missed me while you were looking for your...
Drops of Jupiter by Train is my favorite song of all time. This song brought me into a lot of self-reflection in the summer of 2000. This song, and what I was going through at the time, changed my entire outlook on life and love. I've watched Pat's video on the song's inspiration, so I know that the lyrics were written in different context than the way in which I relate to them, but that's a strong allure of music. Different people will get different things from a song. For me, Drops of Jupiter's lyrics are a metaphor for the process I went through in learning what is precious in life and love, and in learning the difference between what's just sparkly and what's real. I spent a lot of time out of the atmosphere, falling for shooting stars, looking for myself. But in the end, all of the things that I thought would be heaven were overrated. I didn't find happiness in the Milky Way, or in the constellations, or in any of the things that had looked so inviting. I realized that the happiness I wanted was in the first dance, the 5-hour phone conversation, the best soy latte, and in my best friend, all the things that had been right in front of me all along. In my eyes, this song gets a really strong handle on the truest form of love, because in the end, the purest love focuses on what makes the people you love happiest. I see Drops of Jupiter telling the story of two people, two good friends, who meant a lot to each other and shared a special bond. Soulmates, in the non-commercialized sense of the term. Then, all of a sudden, for reasons that seem almost inexplicable, the girl leaves the relationship and her best friend. She goes to explore the world without him, all these things that seem spectacular in universal proportions. Comparable to the sun, or the Milky Way, because he can only watch from the outside, only looking on what she experiences. He questions how she can possibly just drop all the things that made their relationship so wonderful, wonders whether it really ever meant anything to her, if it still means anything to her now, if she misses him. But at the same time, he speaks these questions with the sentiment that he approves of whatever she chooses to do, because he loves her, and anything that makes her happy makes him happy. Now that she's back in the atmosphere with drops of Jupiter in her hair, hey. This girl went away for a while. She's come back now, and she still bears the evidence of her journey somehow. She acts like summer and walks like rain, reminds me that there's time to change. Hey. She is now warm and bright, and happy. He is reminded of rain, because she is graceful and very beautiful. This change in her has now reminded him that it's not too late to be different. Since the return from her stay on the moon, she listens like spring and she talks like June. Hey. Since she's come back, she's become a whole different person. She listens to everything he says, dreamily, and has amazing stories to tell. Tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights all faded? And that heaven is overrated. He is wondering if she went to the places that she dreamed of, and realized that they weren't as amazing as she thought. Tell me, did you fall from a shooting star? One without a permanent scar. And did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? He is wondering if she fell for a guy that would just be in and out of her life, like a shooting star that doesn't bear the emotional scars that he does. Now that she's back from that soul vacation, tracing her way through the constellation, hey. She checks out Mozart while she does Tae-Bo. Reminds me that there's room to grow. Hey. Now that's she back from her journey, trying to find herself, she's changed a lot. She has different interests. He's reminded a person can grow mentally and spiritually. Now that she's back in the atmosphere, I'm afraid that she might think of me as plain old Jane. Told a story about a man who is too afraid to fly, so he never did land. He is afraid she might think he's boring now that he's been to so many cool places and met interesting people. He's afraid the whole time she was gone. She was telling people of this guy back home who is too afraid to actually do anything with his life, so he just floats around, being no one special. Tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet? Did you finally get the chance to dance along the light of day and head back to the Milky Way? And tell me, did Venus blow your mind? Was it everything you wanted to find? And did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? He's wondering if everything was as perfect as she thought it would be, and if she missed him while she was looking for herself. Can you imagine no love, pride, deep fried chicken? Your best friend always sticking up for you even when I know you're wrong. Can you imagine no first dance, freeze-dried romance, 5-hour phone conversation? The best soy latte that you ever had, and me. He wonders if she misses their friendship, his pride in her, little pieces of home. He wonders if he misses all the little things that happened between them. He hopes she misses him. Tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet? Did you finally get the chance to dance along the light of day and head back toward the Milky Way? He is asking her if she was swept off her feet by the amazing places she went. And are you lonely looking for yourself out there? He wonders if she felt a little lonely without him around. Tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights all faded and that heaven is overrated? Tell me, did you fall from a shooting star, one without a permanent scar? And did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? He wonders if she did all the things she wanted, and if everything was as she expected. He hopes she missed him when she was exploring her great, perhaps. This is an absolutely beautiful and meaningful song. The girl in the song has her head in the clouds, and she is probably very intelligent. She wants to find herself by exploring the artistic and spiritual, Mozart, Tae-Bo, and great mysteries of science and philosophy, as in faraway galaxies. She wants to transcend the everyday, mundane world, because that is boring and trivial to her, when she only is interested in the big picture and the meaning of life. The guy, who is probably in love with the girl, is down to earth, probably not as intellectual, but has strong emotions, love, pride, and appreciates the little things in life, fried chicken, freeze-dried romance. He looks up to her and feels a little intimidated by her otherworldliness of knowledge, since he is more practical and also less sure that he can never know the answers. He's too afraid to fly, so he never did land. He is able to understand one thing better than her, though: love. She is so wrapped up in the Milky Way, basically, meaning mysteries of the universe, that she misses out on what is truly important, which is love and human togetherness. It may be thrilling to dance along the light of day, but this only touches the surface of what are life's greatest gifts. Heaven, although fascinating, is overrated, and true happiness is not out there, but close, right before her eyes. Therefore, he knowingly asks her, "And now are you lonely? Looking for yourself out there?" I think this song is about a guy that is completely in love with this girl. But this girl just takes his love for granted, not realizing how much in love with him she is. So she puts their relationship on the shelf, and goes away to experience life. On this journey of hers, she sees and does things he could only imagine, because he knows that he'll never do them. Not because he thinks they're dumb or anything, it's just that he won't ever have the chance to. She is one of those free-spirited types, and he is too attached to the ground for that. But she comes back, after realizing that all of this and that are fun, but there is something missing him. And she finally recognizes her love, that they shared. The line, "Did you fall for a shooting star, one without a permanent scar," I think refers to her falling in love with either a someone who has never had their heart broken, aka scarred, because they never get close enough to fall in love, because they just use people, or someone who may be just like him in so many ways, except they don't have a scar like his, because his came from her when she left and broke his heart. That is just my take on the song. Many of my friends told me that this was my song, because for such a long time after my girl and I split, I always said that she was coming back someday, when she realized how much I loved her, and how much she loved me back. They were in love, she thought. There was so much more out there, so she wanted to be free. She then realized she had the best thing in life, love, so now She wants to come back, but too late, he's moved on. Don't know, but that's my view of this song anyway. I like it. This song reminds me of how much she grew up. Well, my point of view of this song is very different. This couple were very much in love, but she need a break to go away for a while, to see who she really is. You know, the famous saying, love is like a butterfly, you have to set it free. If it comes back, it meant to be. I think this song described perfectly with the quote I said above. This song just blew my mind, and I love to listen to it. This song makes me want to cry. A guy and this girl are friends, nothing more, and she leaves. She needs time for self-discovery. While she's gone, he realizes he's in love with her, and in this song, she has come back, and he's proclaiming his love, and asking her if she feels the same way. I saw this one thing about the song on MTV though, and the guy who sings it said the whole song was about one word: experience. Boy meets girl. Girl and boy fall in love. Sound familiar? But things don't always go perfectly. She goes away. Maybe her family moves away, maybe she goes to college. No matter, she's gone. This is where the story gets interesting. She comes back. And he is still as in love with her as he was the day she left, if not more in love. But they've both changed. That happens after months, maybe years. They knew it would happen, but they both dreaded it. He feels that, now that she is different, he won't be good enough for her. And that kills him. Deep down inside, however, he knows why she's come back. She hasn't found herself. She had spent so long traveling around, trying to figure out who she was, and who she wanted to be. But she couldn't. She was right in front of herself all along. Everything was perfect, and right when they had 5-hour phone conversations every night, and when they spent their Friday afternoons, sipping soy lattes, in a downtown cafe. Girl meets boy, again. Girl and boy fall in love, again. She fell for a shooting star. He just didn't know it was him all along. I love this song. I learned it on the guitar for him. I intend to play it for him when he comes back from college next week. I still love him. I hope he still feels the same way. Wish me luck. This is a metaphor song. Beautiful. Now that she's back in the atmosphere. It means a girl that apparently went away, and now she's back in the picture. With drops of Jupiter in her hair, hey, hey. This one is so simple. When you look at our solar system, which is the biggest planet. And what color is it? He's referring to her hair color, drops of Jupiter. Long hair, reddish locks. Jupiter's color, you figure it out. She acts like summer and walks like rain. It refers that her acting is dry as summer, and when she walks, she has that beautiful pose. Anything in the rain when referring to love looks beautiful. Reminds me that there's time to change. Hey, hey. This refers that people change no matter what. We evolve and change. Since the return from her stay on the moon. Metaphor. Who wouldn't like to stay in the moon? It refers to an extraordinary adventure. This could be the girl he loves, left, and came back. It could be she went to the city, or flew to another place, from where the guys dance. She listens like spring and she talks like June. Hey, hey. Spring is one of the 4 temperate seasons, the transition period between winter and summer. Spring refers to the season, and broadly to ideas of rebirth, renewal, and regrowth. Also is the time where flowers are very colorful. So she is a good listener, but when she talks, she's dry as June, when summertime begins. Tell me, did you sail across the sun? This is the guy asking her, how was that adventure? Parsing across the sun. Did you make it to the Milky Way, to see the lights all faded? And that heaven is overrated. Let's say, we could travel all the way to the exterior of the Milky Way constellation, all the lights from Earth, and our solar system will fade. This means that, when she left to her adventure, far far away, lights from where the guy was faded, referring to love, fading away, but once she got to that place, the city, what she might thought, it was exiting, which refers to heaven is overpopulated, society, lots of people. Probably this is from a hillbilly point of view, or a very small town in the USA, and since she is so beautiful, everyone in town knew her, But when she got to the city, she was no different from any other. Tell me, did you fall from a shooting star? When in love refers to shooting star, is something speechless, cause of the naturality of a shooting star. He refers this as disappointment. When she went to the city, or the place she visited, she might thought it would have been different. One without a permanent scar. No scar, no pain. Simple. And did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? Asking her if she missed him while she was far, far away, separated. Now that she's back from that soul vacation. Speaks for itself. Tracing her way through the constellation, hey, hey. Tracing her new life. She checks out Mozart while she does Tae-Bo. She likes to listen to classical music while she does aerobics, so she must have a beautiful body. Reminds me that there's room to grow, hey, hey. This means that, if she can do it, so can I. As referring to the author of the song. Now that she's back in the atmosphere. Now that she's back in the picture. I'm afraid that she might think of me as plain old Jane. Told a story about a man who is too afraid to fly, so he never did land. This refers to an American saying, plain old Jane, which means a girl that is plain, ordinary, and not especially memorable or special. Since plain old Joe doesn't exist, he uses this term as any ordinary or a particular person in the town they both lived or live and both knew of an old woman called Jane, telling stories about a man who was too afraid to fly, and when he finally flew, he didn't want it to land. This also could refer to when you are afraid of something, but once you get to know it, you don't want to head back. Tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet? This is him asking if she liked her adventures so bad that she was swept off her feet. Did you finally get the chance to dance along the light of day? She finally had the chance to get to know other parts of the world and be happy about it and enjoy it. And head back to the Milky Way. Coming back to town, coming back home. And tell me, did Venus blow your mind? Adventure to another planet refers to another place, far, far away. Was it everything you wanted to find? If it was worth it? And did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? Speaks for itself. Can you imagine no love, pride, deep fried chicken? No love, no pride, and apparently in their town, they used to eat deep fried chicken while enjoying their dramatic moment together. But since she left, here's nothing of that out of town. Your best friend always sticking up for you, even when I know you're wrong. Her best friend always sticking up for her, even though she's wrong. So apparently her BFF sticks her nose in their relationship. Can you imagine no first dance, freeze-dried romance, 5-hour phone conversation? This refers as that first night they both danced, what they both felt. No romance, and talking over the phone for 5 hours every day with him, obviously. The best soy latte that you ever had, and me. Refers to, she won't have anything better than him. Is him telling her, over the 5 hours conversation, which apparently, she was having a great soy latte. He tells her that, the soy latte and him, are the only good things she will have in life. From his point of view. Beautiful song. I so love this song. It reminds me that, time and space away, isn't so bad, after all, and that change is for the better. To me it feels like, his ex-girl, leave him for greener pasture, what she thought anyway. And so, he's just asking, if what she thought, heaven was really like what she hoped for, which to him was overrated. It's him asking, are the reasons you left me for, are really worth losing me? On the face of it all, this song is about death, and how the soul finally is released back into the atmosphere. He wrote this about the death of his mother, and how she finally escaped the mundane tasks that ruled her life. In my view, however, when I first listened to this it's about loving someone so much, that when they finally return in your life, you can't help but still love them for who they are. The type of individual that Pat describes in the song is someone who likes to travel, taste new flavors of life. For me, this song has a lot of significance as Jupiter is the ruling planet of Sagittarius, and the man I can relate this song to is one. Just a personal side note, haha. Often, many people look for something better, and then realize what they left is what they needed, and so desired. That's what I think this song is about. I think this is a really well-written song, in parts, but in others, it's definitely lacking. Lines like "and now she's back in the atmosphere, with drops of Jupiter in her hair," are great, but I'm not so sure about the best soy latte you ever had. And me, I can see where he's going with it and all, but it doesn't really fit in. Still, the piano and orchestral work on the song works very well, and the singing is good. You can't make a story out of a thesis of a song. To me, this song is about people always wanting perfection and not realizing that they would be happier with what they have. The line "heaven is overrated" really makes that theme stand out. I think it's about someone who's committing suicide and regretting it, as life was actually better than it seemed to have been, and that there were people who did actually love them. In an interview with VH1, lead singer Pat Monahan revealed that he wrote this song about the death of his mother. Train released their first album in 1998 and were touring that year when Monahan's mother was dying of lung cancer. She was a heavy smoker. This was before the widespread use of cell phones, and Monahan made many stops to pay phones on the tour to speak with his mom during this difficult time. In December of that year, his mother died, and in early 1999, Train was working on their next album when their record company started pressuring them for a hit. Monahan returned to his childhood home in Pennsylvania and woke one morning with the words "back in the atmosphere" in his head. Beginning a time of healing, he started to compose the song. Said Monahan, "Loss of the most important person in my life was heavy on my mind, and the thought of, what if no one ever really leaves? What if she's here, but different? The idea was, she's back here, in the atmosphere. Bye bye, see you on the next one."